What if, in the next second, the force holding you to your chair suddenly doubled? Not gradually, but instantly. Right now. That invisible force, gravity, dictates every single moment of our lives. It's the reason you can walk, the reason your coffee stays in your cup, and the reason our planet holds together. But what if we cranked that dial up to 2? Let's start with you. The moment gravity doubles, your body instantly feels twice as heavy. Imagine carrying another person on your back, permanently. Just standing up would become a monumental effort, a full-body workout. Walking would feel like wading through thick mud, each step a struggle. Running, forget about it. Our muscles and bones simply aren't built for this kind of strain. Many people would collapse right where they are, unable to support their own new weight. Inside your body, things get even more serious. Your heart, a tireless pump, would suddenly have to work twice as hard to push blood up to your brain against this new, crushing force. You'd feel it in your chest, a constant, heavy pressure. Breathing would become a conscious effort, your diaphragm and rib muscles fighting to expand your lungs. Over time, this relentless stress would take its toll. Bones, even the strongest ones, would start to get microfractures. Your joints, especially your knees and spine, would be under immense pressure, leading to chronic pain and eventually failure. It would be a slow, painful breakdown of the human machine. But we aren't alone on this planet. What about the animal kingdom? The rule of thumb would be, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. Literally. Literally. Small insects and rodents might scurry around, slower but still mobile. But for the giants of the animal world, it would be a catastrophe. Elephants, giraffes, even horses and cows might find their legs can no longer support their immense body. They would be trapped, unable to stand, unable to find food or water. The sky would also empty. Birds, masters of flight, would be grounded. Their wings wouldn't be able to generate enough lift to overcome their doubled weight. The world would become eerily quiet. Now, look around you. The world we've built, our cities and homes, are all engineered for one. Double that, and our concrete jungles would begin to crumble. Older buildings, those without modern reinforced steel, would be the first to go, collapsing into piles of rubble. But even our modern marvels wouldn't be safe. Bridges, designed with precise load limits, could sag and snap. Skyscrapers might develop terrifying cracks, their foundations groaning under the new weight. Our entire infrastructure, from roads to tunnels, would begin to fail. The world would look like a disaster zone, not from an earthquake or a storm, but from the simple, invisible pull of the ground beneath us. Let's turn our attention to the vast oceans. With stronger gravity pulling everything down, you might think sea levels would drop, and they would, slightly, as the water is compressed more tightly against the globe. But the real change would be happening underneath the surface. The pressure at the bottom of the ocean would become truly extreme. Many deep-sea creatures, adapted to high pressure, might find even their limits pushed beyond breaking point. Ocean currents, the planet's circulatory system, would shift dramatically. This would throw global weather patterns into complete chaos, creating unpredictable storms and climate shifts across every continent. And speaking of weather, the very air we breathe would change. Stronger gravity would squeeze our atmosphere, making it denser near the surface. The air would feel thicker. This might mean a slightly higher concentration of oxygen, but that's not necessarily a good thing. More importantly, weather systems would become monstrous. Storms would brew with more energy and intensity. Winds might move slower, but because the air is denser, they would carry far more force, like a slow-moving sledgehammer, capable of knocking down anything in their path. What about the Earth itself? The planet isn't a solid, unchanging rock. Doubling gravity would exert immense pressure on its core. The planet would literally start to compress, becoming a slightly smaller, denser sphere. On the surface, this would have dramatic consequences. Mountains, pushed up over millions of years, would begin to slowly flatten under their own incredible new weight. Tectonic plates would shift and grind against each other in new and unpredictable ways, triggering a massive increase in earthquakes and volcanic activity. The planet would become a geologically furious and unstable place. And we can't forget our celestial neighbor, the moon. Stronger gravity would tug on it more fiercely, pulling it into a closer, faster orbit. This would have devastating effects back on Earth. The moon's gravitational pull is what causes our tides. A closer moon would create colossal super tides, capable of wiping coastal cities off the map. This gravitational tug-of-war could also further destabilize Earth's crust, leading to even more earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Over a very, very long time, the moon's orbit could decay so much that it crosses the Roche limit and gets torn apart, forming a ring around Earth, or worse, it could be set on a collision course with our planet. So, faced with this heavy, dangerous new world, could humanity survive? Could we adapt? The answer is, maybe. It wouldn't be easy, and it would take generations. Over a very long time, evolution might favor humans with shorter, stockier bodies, denser bones, and more powerful muscles. We'd become a more compact species, built for a high-G environment, but evolution is slow. Our immediate survival would depend on technology. We could design exoskeleton suits to help us walk and carry out essential tasks. Architects and engineers would have to invent new ways to build, creating low, bunker-like structures capable of withstanding the immense weight. We'd have to fundamentally redesign everything, from our vehicles to our furniture. Life, however, would never feel normal again. Every action would require more energy, more effort. The simple joy of running, jumping, or even just stretching would be a distant memory. The world would feel sluggish, heavy, and confining. So, if Earth's gravity doubled, life wouldn't just end in a flash, but the world as we know it would cease to exist. It would transform into a planet where every moment is a struggle against an invisible, crushing force. It is a stark reminder that this fundamental constant of the universe is UND just a number in a physics textbook. It's the silent architect of our world, and changing it changes everything. Thanks for watching. If you've ever wondered about the crazy what-ifs of our universe, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We've got a lot more to explore. See you next time.